Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, it's Orly.
Orly, it's Veron again.
I recognize your voice. Yay!
Recognize my Jamaican accent?
No, I hear because I'm visually impaired, voices mean I can hear everything. Like you would see someone saying, they're from Jamaica, they're from Israel, they're Jewish, they're Greek. You just see the facial characteristics. For me, it's all through hearing.
I understand.
So, how's the video going?
Please, I'm just texting Fernando because I texted him to give him a particular time when I would be available. And of course,
Yes.
in Fernando, he was like, oh, let's do it on Facebook Live. And I'm like, okay, I'm not backing down, but trust me, it's not easy.
Oh no, I'm not doing it with Fernando that way, but I did do a video and it was not easy. It took me several days of releasing the block because it was a block.
Okay.
And
I don't
then
know
when I
talk about all of that.
and then when I finally did it, I thought, well, what was so hard about that? What was I waiting for?
I don't know if that's I watched one last night, which was I think it was done on the 3rd or something. I don't remember which date, but I watched one last night, and because I'm just trying to catch up because
Yeah,
this is like
exactly.
I'm just getting out of my shell and stuff, and it's
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
just
that's
I
an
am
amazing
bored.
first step. Good. Congratulations.
You. This is not gonna
Absolutely.
be easy, but who says things are gonna be easy? Nothing has been easy for me so far, really. But I am not backing down. I'm gonna do whatever it
Good
takes.
girl. You know what? Life, I mean, things are not easy. I understand, but what makes it easier with time is to get out of your comfort zone and to just do it and build momentum, and then it
Yes.
starts making sense eventually.
Yes, that's where I am
Yeah.
right now. I am like I was watching this Les Brown video, and his thing was like you've got to be hungry. I am there.
Oh, then you're right in the right place. Good morning. This is Tiffany Armstrong. I'm so glad the two of you are on
Good
early this
morning.
morning. Early. Good morning.
Do you have my name labeled to this phone number now?
No, I don't.
Oh.
No. But I just know you're, like we were saying yesterday morning, I was on. I just there wasn't a pause enough for me to say something, but we are the early birds, Sometimes we get
Yep. Might as well.
Yeah, absolutely. What was your name again? Verona or
Ron.
Veron? I was close. I was close.
I
Veron.
know. I get all versions. Even now Fernando is texting me and he's saying Vernon. Yesterday he called me Vernon and he's still
It's a
calling me Vernon.
beautiful name. Where does your name originate from?
I don't
Hello?
know. Okay, I can't say specifically.
Tiffany?
No, I
Yes, good
don't know.
morning.
This is Mike Moran.
Hi, Mike
Hi,
Moran.
how are you?
Do you, I don't know if you have your room booked for January?
Actually, I'm getting, I kind of like get a little anxiety about not getting a room. And so when I saved my ticket, about a month ago, I went ahead and I got an Airbnb because I've got a few
Okay.
people from
You're
my
good.
ecosystem
Okay.
coming. So we're staying in the Airbnb. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Because Ron,
excellent.
you know Ron, right? Ron.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Okay. Because we're staying at the Christopher Columbus Drive at the Residence Inn, the Holiday,
Wonderful.
by Marriott. So
Yeah. Yeah.
So hopefully we can all get together in the same place at the same time.
Oh, just because I'm sleeping in Airbnb, sir, does not mean I won't be showing up there.
So who's on the line?
Good morning, Mike. It's Orly.
Orly.
Hey, Orly. Are you
I'm
coming
Veron.
in January? Are you going to be-
Absolutely. Oh, 100%.
So if anybody needs, I mean, that's where we went. There's that hotel, Orly. I don't know if you have one, but
I don't have one yet. So
okay,
that's
so
next on my
you need
plan.
to call the Residence Inn by Marriott, and it's on
Okay.
Christopher Columbus Drive in
Columbus.
Jersey City.
Okay. Perfect.
You want
And
me
is
to-
there a block? Is there a block rate, or
No,
is it just?
as far as I know,
okay.
there's not a block. Good morning, Darcy.
Because I know.
Good morning, Mike.
Do you want me to
Good.
try to
Good morning,
text?
Darcy.
Do you want me to
Who's
try
this?
to
I
text?
don't know all the voices yet.
It's Orly.
Hi,
Orly,
Orly.
do you
How
want
are
me to-
you?
Do you want me to
Great.
text the number to you?
Yes, please.
How do I do that?
By text or email, we could.
I know, but I don't have your. You don't have to give it out here if you don't want.
I don't mind. Okay.
Oh, okay. Tell me.
If that's okay with everybody.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nine-
I don't know what's going on, but do it.
Sharing is caring.
Thank you. It's 954
954
559
559.
4105.
And how do I spell your first name?
ORLY.
That's it, huh?
You got it.
That's
Thank you, Mr. Moreau.
All right.
Thanks for
Hi,
working,
good-
thanks for working in those rooms, Mike.
Good morning, Fernando.
Great
Morning.
rising today on
We
Good
can't hear
morning,
you.
Fernando. This is Veron, not Vernon.
Say again?
Veron.
This is Veron, not Vernon.
Veron, not Vernon.
Yes,
Veron, what has happened? I just replied to you.
I know.
Facebook Live. Let's do what we got to do. But does
Oh,
everyone
brother.
Fernando, your audio's down today. You need
My
to bring your
audio?
audio. Your
Yeah,
audio's
we
Yes.
can't hear
low.
you.
Oh, no. Well, I am
There
on
you
my
go.
cell phone. Better?
Now you're
better.
good
I'm
now.
hearing you.
You're good now.
Maybe it's because we're not on mute yet.
No,
Correct.
he came up. He
Yeah.
came up.
So
Good
just
morning,
actually, thank
Fernando.
you. Good morning. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Please, at 8:30, just promptly let's mute.
Mute.
I know that's really important to Sean, so let's be mindful of that. It's 8:27. I love the banter. That is the last thing I want to stop, but I do want to be respectful to Sean when he does jump on at 8:30. So we got 2 minutes. So let's set the
Understood.
tone. Let's set the tone. Things are moving insanely. Just to give you an update of everything happening at the Nerve Center, we've had over 1,100 commitments for January 10, 11, and 12 in the last 3 days. So very quickly, it's going to go from, hey, we need to get people to the event to, the event sold out. And we hope whoever's there really appreciates it. So we're excited. There's 5 Facebook Lives happening today. People are communicating in the Facebook group. So let's take advantage and continue to connect with each other. But what are we focused on today? Who would like to share? Someone who's new, someone who has not shared, who would like to say what they're focused on today on Trajectory Tuesday? Go. Maybe some prior voices. Who would like to take the microphone and share what are they focused on today on Trajectory Tuesday?
This is Tiffany Armstrong. I'll take a second.
Yeah. What's up, Tiffany?
Hey,
Tiffany.
Fernando. Good morning, Darcy. I heard you. I just couldn't slip it in. Yeah. So what's present for me today is I had an epiphany yesterday, and I started realizing, there's a lot of new people, and even some of us that have been on for a while or following Sean for some time. Sean said something last week about being scared for eco merging, and I was like, oh yeah, that's me. So I kind of processed that, and so what's present for me and what I'm working on is getting out of my shell, like Vernon, and posting videos and just not being afraid of failure. Because when you look at, and this is what Fernando brought up, the 1992 Dream Team. I'm not sure if Michael Jordan was on that, but
Yes.
we all know the famous story of Michael Jordan. He got cut from his basketball high school team, right? and look at what he ended up making of himself, you know? So I'm like, if Michael Jordan can get cut from his, you know, basketball team as a young lad, you know, I can definitely make a video and go from there. And I've made a few videos and learned a lot, actually. You learn a lot by listening to yourself speak and obviously taking the quiz and learning about where your mastery is in each and every ego merge or relationship or communication that you have. So that's what I'm present to this morning. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tiffany.
Hey, who was
Armstrong?
that? Tiffany Armstrong?
That was Tiffany
Yes.
Armstrong, yes.
Awesome. Well, good morning, Tiffany. Good morning, Fernando. How we all doing out
morning.
there?
We're doing
Morning.
good.
Good morning.
Energy is high.
Morning.
Yeah. Awesome. And Fernando, what are you present to as we roll into Trajectory Tuesday?
Oh man, I'm present to just addictive energy of fun, excitement. Everyone around is winning. Is like the 92 Dream Team, as Tiffany brought up again. Everyone is winning. Chris is winning. Roy is winning. Roy is getting yeses left and right. You know, before this, we have the Unblinded Huddle. And every time everyone speaks, Ben is like, now I have the NFB involved. And Chris is like, now I'm going to real estate day 2. And Roy's like, Michael Crouch was like yelling on the phone with excitement. And, you know, I have 5 Facebook Live set up today. And Jared and Adam have a bunch of calls. You know, the momentum is there. Measuring, and as far as process mastery, has been very exciting. Ever since we started counting, growth has happened exponentially. So I am present to narrow it down. I am present to the power of counting and measuring.
Yeah, awesome, brother. And so I don't know if this came up yet. Krista or Adam, are you guys on the line?
I am.
Hey,
Yes,
Krista.
we are.
Hey, Adam. Hey, do you guys want to do a quick 60-second? And by the way, for those that are new in the huddle, hey, I'm Sean Calgi. This is Unblinded Sales Mastery. We're here to help people see what they don't see about the fun and excitement of exponentially growing your sales. And some of that can sound very hype-ish. Excuse my voice. I have been sleeping 3 hours a night and going completely insane. I have actually been slightly under the weather for the first time in 2.5 years. So I'm bouncing through that process, exploring and curious, and probably mildly frustrated about it, but almost on the other side. So forgive my voice. Second, where we are and where we're going is this. We're here, and Tiffany, can you support muting? And let's just make that default. Tiffany Schoonmaker, right? As we roll on. Thank you guys. And it's always *6 to unmute. We do want to hear from folks. But if we're all unmuted, you know, when we're 100-ish folk, and it's only going to grow from here, it gets a bit loud. So where we are and what we're doing here each day, and this is grounding everybody. So like, I know this, but let's make sure we do, is that we're not only grounding, connecting, and being inspired, and that's the least that we're doing here together. Most importantly, we're creating traction acceleration. I have personally been blessed and privileged to encounter substantial levels of mastery. Remember, mastery is always about, it's not yes or no, it's where we are on the scale of mastery, realizing that if we're good at something, we get terrible results. Like being good equals terrible results. Being great at something equals good to marginal results. And once we become better, once we're already great, we start to get exponential acceleration. This is just quick, you know, Trajectory Tuesday reminders. And we move through things in 3 different stages: the arduous, the momentum, and the abundance. The arduous phase is where we begin everything, whatever next level we're trying to achieve. Quite frankly, when we're already great and have momentum, it's much easier to move through arduous. It is because of our skill sets, because of the relationships we have, and the access to process acceleration we have. But in the arduous phase, our challenge is that we're going to engage in great effort, and we're going to get very little result. We're going to engage in great effort and get very little result. We're going to engage in great effort, get very little result. And then all of a sudden it starts to tip where it's like great effort equals like some result, great effort equals like maybe even result. That's the arduous phase where it's still linear. Momentum means we begin to invest energy and begin to get results that are accelerating at a pace greater than the effort that we're putting in, right? So if you think of somebody in residual sales, that's why we love residual sales of all sorts, like people that are in the financial services industry. I built my law firm on residual sales. My law firm was constructed on representing medical providers initially that were in fights with insurance companies, And that happened all the time, unfortunately, actually quite horribly for medical providers. And my clients needed my services every single day for the rest of forever, like every single day for the rest of forever, because that's just the way it was and is with insurance companies. So a substantial part of my understanding in the beginning, when I started learning about exponentiality from Jay Abraham, who will be speaking at January 10, 11, and 12, the godfather of marketing, it was like, wow, okay, this makes sense, sell residually. So when we think about all of these different dynamics, where we put our time and energy and attention impacts our movement through the arduous, momentum, and abundance phases. And once we begin to move into abundance, that's when things become fun. I would say that right now we are into the momentum phase of building towards January 10, 11, and 12. We worked through arduous, and I am very confident to everybody here that many people involved or many people watching never thought we would never get to 1501. I'm super confident. And that's because they don't understand arduous, momentum, and abundance phases. They believe that everything continues to operate in a linear fashion. So which also brings me to our critical process mastery point. Process mastery is rooted in our love and understanding of numbers. It's an understanding addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Multiplication I will include under the frame of exponents. Like 2 to the third power, right, is not 2 times 3, it's 8. 2 to the fourth power is like 16. Things begin to jump exponentially over time. That's how Rob Gill went from 8 to 175 meetings, 22x, not simply 2, 3, or 4x. That's how come just a couple of days ago, we had 400 people in a day. We sold 400 tickets in a day. Like that was seemingly impossible a month ago. That would have been the most ridiculous thing to say. I share all of these because we're on the verge of moving in what we're doing in Unblinded towards the abundance phase, at least as it relates to January 10, 11, and 12. We have a lot of work to do in different areas in the 4 pillars, but it's a living, breathing example for you of what it looks like as we come through each phase. And it's a reminder on Trajectory Tuesday that our trajectory does not operate in a linear way. And that's why when people have doubt, this is what happens for most salespeople and most business people. They get frustrated selling something, and they move to selling something different, or they start a new business. And we lie to ourselves and say, this just doesn't work. I'm going to go move and sell this because this is going to be better. It's the same thing that people do in relationships, right? People jump from relationship to relationship. People jump from selling a product to selling a product because we believe that like over there, it's going to be better than it is over here. And it would have been so easy, 60 days ago to say, you know what, this is just not going to work. And then here's what happened. We began to follow the formula at a higher and higher level, and our skill sets kept rising up the scale of mastery, and the teammates we had kept adding more and more skill sets, and we kept bringing in more and more teammates, and like here we are. And we're not done. We have a lot of work to do, right, as it relates to January 10, 11, and 12. But why you're hearing all these things happen is because of the formula, and within the formula, we're moving from arduous to momentum, and we're on the verge of hitting abundance. One could argue that we are in abundance, right? But I'm going to say we're still in momentum, moving towards abundance, because once you get to abundance, it's like tiny to no effort equals massive return. And I'll call abundance, another word for abundance, it's not exactly this, but it's kind of like this, is where you're just in the residual phase, where things are just rolling at such a high level that like just little effort equals massive return. So that's what we want for you on Trajectory Tuesday, is you to apply this to yourself. And I was having a beautiful conversation also yesterday with somebody who was saying, actually it was Bayman Sakari. I love Bayman. And a year ago, Bayman and I were talking about that we were going to build this. I was relaunching my training development program after having put it on hiatus for more than a decade in honor and service of a lifestyle choice with my children and being a business owner and an operator, because I certainly am back at levels of being a business operator, you know, and I'm blinded and I'm enjoying it. And it's a conscious choice, and I'm so grateful, so thankful, and I love it. And it's a choice that I'm making at the very least for the next 5 years, if not 10 years of my life. And it doesn't mean I will stop after that, but this is something that I've gone all in on my heart and soul. I can't imagine ever not doing it. But I'm certainly committed to invest in my heart and soul at this type of level of insanity for an extended period of time. And so as I was talking to him about it, he's like, you know, he goes, for so long, it was hard for me to see and that this wasn't about you, and that this wasn't like you trying to be, you know, a major influencer, major like stage presence. And it's not like you're not going to be on stage, but I finally get it, that this is about us. And it brought like tears to my eyes, because sometimes it's hard for people to really to see what they don't see. And this is really, Bex Bayman is a brilliant negotiator. He's quite frankly a better negotiator than I am when it comes to probably quantity and smaller distinctions in negotiating. He's a genius. He's got more of a heart and a passion for it than I do. That's not, I could certainly teach it. I can certainly do it. And I could certainly do it on behalf of my clients, but it's not like a heart and soul passion of mine. And it is a heart and soul passion of his. So at stages, he's like, you know, I got this negotiating program. I want to do my thing. I'm like, dude, that's what this is about. It's about doing your thing. It's about doing things together. It's about doing your thing, but it's also about learning how to do your thing. Because it's one thing to buy a program online that says, hey, everybody can be a trainer or a teacher or a coach. You all have something to say, which I completely agree with, versus how do you develop the skill sets? How do you develop the self-mastery? And what is literally the process mastery by and through which to do this? And that's what we're teaching people here. And then how could we do it together? Because when people always remember this about influencers influencing influencers to merge ecosystem for 1 plus 1 equals a trillion, or at least more than 10 relationships to make the world an even greater place. Like each piece of that statement means an incredible amount, right? Each piece. So when we're coming together, it's for 1 plus 1 equals a lot more than 1. And I'm so excited about January 10, 11, and 12, but not for me, right? I'm excited about it for all of us. I'm excited about it for every ecosystem that we impact, because as your ecosystem grows, so does mine. As Unblinded grows, so does yours. As Sean Callaghan's individual ecosystem grows, so does yours. And as we come together, we create more and more of an ability to create more and more contribution, more and more growth, more and more connection, more and more fun, you know, excitement, energy. It's unbelievable what is happening. And if you're feeling disconnected from it or unclear, like you feel like you're kind of on the outside of it, that would be a great indicator of a major challenge, right? A great indicator of a major challenge. Let me give you an example. At one stage, I'm a platinum partner and a lion in Tony Robbins' organization. And at some points, I've encountered people there who feel like, you know, I just don't know that I'm getting what I thought I would get from platinum partnership. And I remember feeling the exact same way. I remember the first time I realized it was in Idaho in 2018, and I went to Tony Robbins' house, and I was incredibly excited to go. It was after our first financial trip in Idaho, and we had this like blessing and privilege of going to this man's house who was such an incredible mentor and teacher to me through his books, through his audio programs, much more than his events. I had studied his work in writing much more than in the event space. And then I went to his home, and I had re-engaged in events the month before at Business Mastery 2018. And so going to his house, I had all these incredible expectations about having a conversation with him and talking to him and thanking him, not realizing that every single human in the millions he encounters says the same thanks and same excitement, and then has something to propose that they want from him. And that's a pattern that everybody has. And I hadn't yet fully connected to that idea. I certainly do now. That like, it's like, you know, thank you, Tony, you changed my life, and here's what I want to do with you. Right? Like that's a very common pattern. And it's with great heart and great love and great energy, but it's also very common and the same thing. So I remember going to the house that night, and you know, to make it succinct, none of that happened. There was no personal interaction. I didn't even say hello to him. You know, there was hundreds of people there. It was a wave of dynamic energy. I did have the very cool experience of being in like his hot spring, and we all sang happy birthday to him around, you know, midnight when his birthday was the next day. So at midnight it became the next day. But I remember thinking, going back, like, this is not what I thought it was going to look like, you know, and I was confused. And now I am not confused. And it is what it's supposed to look like. And I realized that it wasn't about me connecting one-on-one with Tony Robbins. I realized that it was about the incredible ecosystem he had created, which I could build ecosystems within the ecosystem, and I could impact his ecosystem, and I could build my own ecosystem. And when all of those things came together in beautiful ways as they are right now, it would look like me standing on stage and talking in front of 5,000 people, me helping massively sell millions and millions of dollars of platinum partnerships, me helping sell that, right? Helping break records from stage and doing all those things, feeling incredibly fulfilled in my contribution, but also in my growth, connection, and quite frankly, even my significance. We all have a need for significance, to feel good about the things that we do, to feel proud, and I certainly did. It was a great opportunity for me to demonstrate what I can do. In addition, it has led to what we're building in Unblinded. You know, there's a substantial interconnection between those people. There's certainly many, many other ecosystems that we're impacting regularly and continuously, and many I had long before I had become a platinum partner. And all of those things are galvanizing energy in between one another and accelerating. But my point for all of this is, if you're feeling like, you know, I just need like more attention, I just need, you know, a larger voice in everything that we're doing. Well, the fastest way to get a larger voice is to make an impact. I promise you my voice is being heard a lot louder in the world of Platinum Partnership as I added massive and unique value. Massive and unique value. And the mistake that I see so many people in Platinum Partnership and any organization make is they come from the place of, what are you going to do for me? And the fastest way for you to have your ecosystem not grow is to focus on what you're going to do for me and forget all that is being done for you, right? As we create any ecosystem, as you create your ecosystem, and you will encounter people like that, right? In each and every situation, you will have people that are not present and aware of all the massive value that you're adding. A major part of what you need to do is to not only add massive value, but to make sure with rapport, with respect, with appropriateness, with humility, but not modesty. Humility is a virtue. Modesty is sin. Modesty is underestimating and hiding, right? What you're actually doing is the ability to have people see what you're up to and the value that you're adding done appropriately in a rapport-filled way. So my point for this part of the conversation is, simply put, if you want to accelerate, build ecosystems and accelerate. Add massive value for people. Come from a heart-centered place and give. That's how Rob Gill built a relationship with me. You know, to Rob Gill, I was the sort of maybe unreachable, not quite unreachable, but stretch level influencer in his world who had the ability to have massive impact on his business and his future. And Rob just gave and gave and gave and gave and gave continuously with no direct linear perspective on what that would look like in return.
Sean,
and the return started to be massive. Yes.
Sean, I am on, just so you know.
Yeah, brother. So, Rob, just quick 60 seconds.
Yes.
Explain like your heart, your giving, because a big part of how you connect with people initially. And in fact, Rob has a challenge. Rob has the opposite challenge. Rob gives like such a lunatic that at times it's hard for him to actually receive and slow down. And he's always trying to be like, well, I can't ask this person for that until I give like 10 more. Like I got to give 10 more before I ask for one. I'm like, Rob, that's not true. So Rob almost comes from the opposite perspective, which on a future huddle we'll talk about how to like make sure you're receiving what's appropriate in return for what you're giving. But Rob is a give first, massive heart-centered human. So go ahead, Rob.
Thank you, Sean. And I've done videos on this in the past, and I do want to illustrate something that I think is important. When I first saw Sean I was not confused at what my outcome was because I was outcome oriented and I saw some commonalities. I fell in love immediately with the fact that I felt he was an action oriented leader. And then I began to hear him speak through like an hour conversation where he was speaking in front of a bunch of doctors. And I realized that he was in peak performance self-help. At that point, that's what I thought. I didn't know anything about the Calgary results from him. I didn't know anything about what he had put together, but I knew from an eye test, hearing test standpoint, he was passing all my tests. So I immediately began to develop or try to develop a relationship. The thing that I would love to point out right now, though, and all the Calgary folks can attest to this, for me, it just wasn't about Sean. Because I understand that everybody has a team around them, and this was a team that I wanted to become connected to. It wasn't just the fact that it was Sean and I just beeline to him, although I did promote every day, I did reach out, but I made it very clear in my heart that there was people that, you know, are part of something great, and to recognize them was important to me because I understand how it is to be in the background. I've always understood that. So I think from that standpoint, when it comes to merging ecosystems, and Sean talks about this, and I witnessed it on the floor many different times at Tony Robbins, he doesn't just talk to one person, he talks to everybody. He talks to the guy that, you know, the bathroom guy or the people that are selling the goods or Tony and himself or, you know, all the Platts and Lions, but he talks to everybody. We were going to have a quick meeting the other day, and there was at least 5 or 6 people that stopped him, looked for pictures, and he doesn't rush through the conversation. So if you're going to merge ecosystems at a high, consistent, world-class level, I think it's about understanding the whole team that somebody's with, but truly in your heart giving. That's what I wanted to share.
Yeah, no, and that's what you did, Rob, and you non-stop give. So this is not about saying, hey, give more here. It's about saying, hey, understand that the way to have a larger and larger voice into anything is to make stuff happen, number one. Use the formula, right, in a massive way, number 2. Number 3, make sure that that's what you're teaching people as you grow your leadership within this ecosystem, independent of this ecosystem, that everything that you're doing is about adding massive value. Like Rob is here, and I am not confused because I add massive value to his life and because he has massive value to mine. And you go, so wait, this is all just about adding massive value? Well, of course it is. Like, it doesn't mean that you have to have it in a tit for tat, day for day. But are you, like, people get into personal relationships because people add value. They make them laugh. They enjoy spending time together. Conversation flows easily. Like, great things happen. And relationships begin to break down when people become self-focused. And people may hang on for a long time, but when people become self-focused and start conditionally giving to one another, that's when we have challenges, whether it's personal or business. And none of that's happening, right? Like I'm just sharing the context of what this is, because this isn't just fluff. This is about like what's real. Like how do we build structural dynamics and framework? And final, and I'm going to kick it to somebody for a win. If anyone wants to jump and share a win, it's 60 seconds. But final, I had a beautiful conversation with Ben Fox the other day, and I love Ben. And Ben is massively giving, and he's unbelievably heart-centered. And the conversation we had was like, I'm like, Ben, tell me what you think is going on Unblinded right now. And he drew this beautiful picture. He's like, what it looks like is this like cityscape by the sea, and we're building buildings, and we're building foundations, and we're writing our names in the cement, and we're building a culture, and it's beautiful and incredible and unbelievable. I said, okay. I said, here's my picture. We are right now taking the city, and we're taking the city back from darkness. And that darkness is fear and distortion. That darkness is limitation and lack. And we are at war, and we are shooting and getting shot at. And we're taking massive effort continuously, and we're coming up the hill. We're having casualties. We're having challenges. We're having pain. We're having struggle. Another example could be we're climbing Mount Everest, and we're like freezing and starving. And we're like near the step. I forget that it's like it begins with an H, the Hillary step or something like that, where we have to cross this like insane bridge to the final piece. And every part of us feels like giving up and quitting and is exhausted. The people that are truly on the climb or truly on the battlefield, right? That's where we are. We're not writing our name in cement. We're not like slowly building. We're attacking. We're moving. We don't have time to think, hey, do I feel like doing this today? Hey, how am I feeling? Like, what's going on? Like, oh, I don't know. Like, what am I? Is this like, am I in my center? Like, that's not. When you are in the arduous phase and moving towards momentum, we are not assessing consistently, we will assess and innovate. And we've innovated like 8 times. But what we haven't asked is, what we have not asked is, hey, do I really feel like doing this? Like when I was in those top 100 jury verdicts, every day I woke up and wanted to quit. Every day. Every day I was so afraid when I woke up we're going to lose, because our bodies react in fear. And I immediately had to purge myself of those feelings and get immediately into state and take massive action. So if you're having like those feelings, it's okay. But it's up to us to control and drive ourselves forward no matter what we're building. Unblinded for January 10, 11, and 12, or you're building specifically in and for your business, or you're building your personal relationships. Sometimes we just don't feel like it in any way, shape, or form. In fact, it's probably a lot. But what the formula says is it's up to us. It's up to us to connect to our why, to take massive action, and to not listen to the lies of our brain or nervous system, which say, I don't feel like making this phone call. I'm afraid to ask. I feel like I'm going to get rejected. And what Adam and the momentum that Fernando started this call with and sharing has done is in that call center energy, and hopefully on these phone calls together, what we're doing is we're crushing that together. We're sharing this proximity and this energy to launch forward massively every single day, to take extraordinary action, to realize that we're having fun, that we're sharing a collective consciousness energy movement forward of action, of fun, of laughter, of moving from arduous to momentum in Zeus energy, goddess energy, aspirational, and fun energy. All 4 of those throughout the day, that's what we're doing here together. So with that said, does anybody have a win that they'd like to share? And then I'm going to kick it to Jared for final wrap up. Any wins anybody like to share?
This is Darcy.
Hey, Darcy, how are you?
Great. I just want to say it's been incredible being around Fernando and Krista and Chaz and Adam and everybody in the Unblinded, I guess, hub. And the energy is very infectious and contagious, and surrounding yourself with people like this only basically helps you improve your life. And I'm just grateful for the opportunity. So thank you guys.
No, Darcy, you're crushing it, and thank you for everything that you do. So thank you for that. And does anybody else have something quick?
I do. It's Melody.
I can hear a voice. I heard it, Melody. I felt it. So what's up, Melody? Melody's with the AFB. She is a rock star. She is unblinded, although she has some physical blindness, and she is rocking the world. So what's up, Melody?
I had to smile when Darcy came on, because I was going to say I had amazing. Darcy is so wonderful, and she gives me so much energy. But also, I got to talk to Rob last week, Bill, and I heard just in our 5-minute conversation, Rob, your heart is beautiful. And I'm just so excited about this and what everyone's doing, building this ecosystem and the opportunities that we're opening up for people that have visual impairments that are only physical is amazing. And I just think you all are great. And I can't wait to meet everybody in January.
Yeah. Hey, Melody, I'm so grateful for you, for the fact that you used your voice today and share beautiful energy with us. And yeah, we're disrupting what blindness means in the world. We're changing the unemployment rate for the blind. We're disrupting what employers think, what blind folk think, and it has only just begun. And for all of us, right, base camp is 1501. It's just base camp. It's not the summit. It is base camp. Base camp is 1501 on January 10, 11, and 12. And who knows, maybe more. But that's base camp. And we go from there. And everybody in this phone call, everybody in the AFB, every single business, everybody wins by that being impacted and being huge. And if you don't believe that I believe that, then I would not be jumping up on stage and supporting the growth of Platinum Partnership and Tony Robbins' world either, because I believe the growth of any amazing, super incredible, healthy ecosystem equals everybody in the ecosystem wins. So I believe when this ecosystem grows, we win. And by the way, Platinum Partnership wins. When Platinum Partnership grows, we win. And I win in Platinum Partnership. When Platinum Partnership grows, you win. Everybody wins. That's how it works. So Jared, final wrap up, brother. Let's cook in.
Final wrap up. We did an exercise this morning. We have an unblinded huddle before this huddle with the unblinded team. And we did this visualization. I'm going to invite all of you to play with me for 1 minute for this visualization. But what we spoke about is on January 10th, 11th, and 12th, everybody arrives. 1,500 to 1 people arrive to the venue. And most people, when they come to events, if you've never like put on your own event, because I used to think this too, you just think that everything kind of just like shows up there. Like the vendor booths are just there. They just like drop down from the sky and like everything is just perfectly set up. Like you don't think about necessarily what it took to make that event transpire, unless you put on your own event and you know exactly what I'm referring to. But before I put on events, I just thought it just happened, right? Well, we did this visualization today, which is 1,501 people in this room, thinking that everything just kind of happened. It just landed there. The universe just dropped it. And then the unblinded team walks in and they know exactly what it took to make that happen. They know how many phone calls they made. They know how many emails they sent. They know how many text messages they sent. They know how many events they went to. They knew how many doors they knocked on. They knew what it took to get to that starting point. And that'll be the single most special day of their lives in their career when it comes to contribution. But it's up to that point, because that's just the starting point of Unblinded. We've had the opportunity now for the past few months to really dig in together into this movement. We took a Facebook group in like 5 days from 0 to 1,000, and the next week over 2,000, and it continues to grow. But we haven't even started yet. And January 10th, 11th, and 12th is the official start. And I just want to honor the entire team at Unblinded for working like ridiculous days, ridiculous hours. There's no break, because they see the vision of where this is going. And I invite all of you to participate in that visualization exercise. Play your part today. Who must be present with you at this experience? Because there are people I can think of right now on your behalf that must be present. Your clients, your team, vendors you work with, people that you network with. Let them sit next to you. Let them go through this experience with you. Let them role play with you. Go back late at night and debrief with them. And then most importantly on Sunday, leave with them so that you can integrate and synthesize what you just learned and what they just learned back into your life and into your business. The Unblinded team deserves a big round of applause for the effort they're putting in, and they're not giving up. They are going at this full throttle. We are going to fill this event and more and make this the most world-class experience that you've ever had at an immersion on January 10th, 11th, and 12th. Get your people to register so that they can have that breakthrough with you. We appreciate you all. We can't wait to see you soon.
Yeah, thank you, Jared. Hey, Adam, Krista, we never got to it. Real quick, that is awesome, brother. Let's make it happen today. Power of 1 for everybody. How about we make it the power of 10 for today? And Adam, Krista, real quick, what happened yesterday? 30 seconds. In terms of numbers and with Teresa and the realtor world.
The formula was in full effect. Krista, please, this was all you creating this moment. So why don't you give a brief overview of what happened?
Is Krista there? 5, *6 to unmute. How about you hit it? We're late, Adam. If Krista jumps in, she jumps in. So what happened, brother?
So yes, formula in full effect. The meeting happened for Keller Williams. There was approximately 37 real estate agents in the room. So grateful for Teresa Pfefferly, who saw you at the New Jersey Realtors convention where you spoke. She was the one that came up and said, I want you to speak to my team. She knew how impactful it would be. 37 people there. You did your thing. You just with an hour of content, not one real estate agent got up. Apparently, most of the time in these types of settings, they get a little distracted. You know, they're running around doing their business, but you could see everybody was absolutely engaged and enthralled with learning the formula and what you were doing. And, you know, if we walked out of there with 50% of the room signing up for January 10th, 11th, and 12th, I would have thought it was a wonderful success. So to walk out with actually more signups for the event than were even in the room with 40 people signing up for other people.
Hey guys, sorry, I
was
couldn't get off
astounded.
mute.
Yeah,
Okay.
Krista, how did you?
Krista,
I'm
Krista,
sorry, I
how
couldn't
did
get
you?
off of mute.
Yeah,
Sure.
oh good. Krista, how did you feel about putting together a situation where more than 100% of the room signed up for January 10th, 11th, and 12th?
It feels amazing. Kind of speechless, but I knew it was achievable, and I'm super happy. And I couldn't thank Teresa more for being the rock star that she is, and just so excited to have her team come in January. I kind of surprised myself a little bit, but I mean, I knew I could do it, and I'm just super happy and grateful.
Yeah, Krista, your growth has been remarkable, and the fact and the way that you have your Hello to Yes mastery is rising beautifully. Like you've made it into the nines, and as you grow now, the increases become more and more exponential. And what a beautiful job of following up, battling through, dealing with objections, overcoming to get to there and other places you've been. Own that in your heart and soul. Use Krista as an example of possibility everybody on this phone call, and let's stay with this and keep accelerating. And you want to learn more? Talk to Krista. Okay, you want to connect with somebody? Connect with Krista. She's got things to teach you. She's got things to share with you, and she's rocking the house. Beautiful job. Hey, it's Trajectory Tuesday. Yeah, it's Trajectory Tuesday.
Amazing.
Make something exponential happen today. Make something exponential happen today. Ask yourself this: what can I do to exponentially accelerate my ecosystem? Get 10 people to Unblinded today. That's one of them. Who could you talk to that could bring 5? Make something leveraged, exponential happen today. Have a beautiful, incredible day. I could not be more grateful for you and your presence, your attention, energy. Thanks.
Thank you.
We've only just begun. Have a great day, everybody.